Adopt an anti-bullying policy.
Now, this policy would require the board to help school districts create their own policies to prevent harassment, intimidation, or bullying. Local 12 reporter Jessica Donlin shows you how one school's program is making a big difference.
What are the names that you are hearing people call each other?
Dumb.
Dumb.
Ugly.
Ugly.
Retarded.
Retarded.
Sissy.
Sissy.
It's not often you hear students shout those words in a public school classroom. But anti-bullying advocate Thomas Dillingham says this is what we have to do to find out how and, more importantly, why these children are bullying one another.
It's not going away, and we can't keep on sweeping it under the rug as though it doesn't exist.
About 3 years ago, the principal here at Silverton Paideia Elementary says she noticed a dangerous trend in student discipline. Every year, more and more incidents of harassment and intimidation.
And at that time, I said, we have bullying going on here, and perhaps we need some training.
That's why she called Dillingham. This former cop started this program to curb the intimidation and harassment these kids say they're all too familiar with.
People start messing with me and stuff, and like they just don't stop. People start threatening me and stuff.
People talk about my height. They call me short and stuff. Oompa Loompas.
But interestingly, these students say they've turned around and bullied others. The same goes for many of their classmates.
How many of you have been a bully? Be honest.
But why? Many of these 6th graders here at Silverton Paideia say before now, if they saw a classmate being bullied, there was a good chance they'd join in just to make sure they wouldn't become the bully's target. Now, many of these students say this training has given them a voice and a new way to handle harassment, whether they're the target or not.
It makes me upset to think, why would anybody bully? Because you don't know what's really anybody's doing.
If a new child comes into the school, a new student comes in, and they want to come and sit down with you, and you put your foot in the chair so they can't sit down, or you take a book and put it there so they can't sit down, how do you think it's going to make them feel?
Bad.
Okay? And that's what this is really all about, learning to look out for one another.
And that's a life lesson that applies to all of us, well beyond the 6th grade. At Silverton Paideia Elementary, I'm Jessica Donlin, Local 12.
Now, coming up at 7:30, Jessica shows you how teachers play a critical role in fighting back against bullies. See how teachers are learning to recognize the problem that is often happening right up under their noses.
That's a lot to take in for 6th graders, but it's nice they're learning about it.
Yeah, if they learn it and implement it, it will be a great advance for when they get older. So.
I have to tell that short girl, be proud that you're short.
There you go.
It's fun. It's nice.
Embrace it, young
We're not
lady.
Oompa Loompas. We're just petite.
There you go. Middletown High School. A new law intended to take the bite out of bullying has many local schools making extra efforts to protect your kids.
It requires districts to adopt a policy to prohibit harassment, intimidation, and bullying. Local 12's Jessica Donlin shows us how one program is making a big difference.
You may think most bullying happens out here on the playground or in the hallway, but these students at Silverton Paideia Elementary say it also happens right here.
Let's talk about physical bullying. Give me some examples of physical bullying.
Pushing, spitting on somebody.
12-year-old Felicia Hostley says she's experienced other types of intimidation that can be just as painful.
Have you ever been bullied?
Yes. How? I've been isolated before, like put out of a group in 1st grade, and that was a really bad year because like I never played with anybody. People talked about me a lot.
And in her case, Felicia says the teacher actually made the problem worse.
The teacher always believed the other kids and she wouldn't talk to me about it, and I would always get in trouble for getting bullied.
We are so unaware of what's happening right there in front of us.
Thomas Dillingham started an anti-bullying program for schools and says dealing with the issue means turning the tables on the teachers so they can learn what's going on in their classrooms.
There's nothing in the world that's worse in the world than a child to come to you and give you their trust, and you betray that trust.
Dillingham says teachers must provide support for the victim and above all be aware of what's happening right under their noses.
He has brought up things that I've seen in the classroom that I had never connected with bullying per se. As a teacher, you deal with situations as they come up. And Tim was able to make me see it as a pattern of bullying.
This 5th grade teacher here at Silverton Paideia says he can prevent bullying if he leads by example, creates rules, and then most importantly, enforces them.
You set the tone for your classroom.
It is true that things happen that the teachers aren't always aware of, because kids have a way of, they have a network. But I still think that a well-organized classroom with clear rules and expectations is still one of the most important things.
And they want someone to tell them what the boundaries are.
At Silverton, Paideia, I'm Jessica Donlin, Local 12.
Now this week, the Ohio State Board of Education is expected to adopt a model anti-bullying policy. They meet today and tomorrow in Columbus.
And the time now is 7:37.